3 Cents Podcast is brought to you by Integrity Roofing and Siding. These guys are awesome when it comes to roofing needs, but also siding and renovation. They do gutters. These are year-round issues, and Integrity Roofing and Siding is there for you 24/7 year-round. Need a roofer? Our roofer is Integrity Roofing and Siding, 210-340-7663. 210-340-7663. The official roofing company of 3 Cents Podcast is Integrity Roofing and Siding.
Oh, we are back just like that. 3 Cents Podcast presented by Integrity Roofing and Siding. Ernie Zuniga right here. Patrick Rodriguez across the way. Mike Taylor, not with us today. He's with us in spirit, but he'll be back very soon. LG is here as well.
I'm told he has the squirts.
Oh, is that the listed as doubtful with the squirts? That's what we're going to go with. So
mixed it with Raisin Bran.
We hope that he recovers very soon now. But no, the Integrity Roofing and Siding, one to plug our presenting sponsor, but two, LG just reminded me. Yes, I need to check my gutters and clean them out because of this. The wind that we had earlier in the week did a number on my trees. Some of which I still think. I mean, I'm not an expert in botany or arbor-related issues. Arbory, whatever. I don't know what that is. But
arborist? I have no.
I think I still have dead limbs on some of my trees from the freeze in 21. That they'll snap off when it freezes. I mean, when the winds really. And I know was it early in the week, Monday, Tuesday, we had like Wizard of Oz type winds.
That was ridiculous.
It was crazy.
Cold.
Well, so that was what I was going to ask you. Is that brings us to and my kids are excited because they've got a 3-day weekend coming up, starting tomorrow, I guess, with MLK weekend coming. Depending on the forecast you look at, I'm supposed to be at the MLK March on Monday with the Ray Feo crew and all of that. Mm-hmm. But depending on I'll pull it up here. But last I saw, they were talking about, was it 17 degrees?
16 degrees.
Right now, okay, it's at 19 degrees is what one weatherman is calling for. And wait, is there precipitate? 30% chance
of snow.
Precip.
Precip, which means snow.
So they're calling for 19 degrees Monday morning, 30% chance of drip, whatever that means.
I will watch you from the television,
Ernie. Have fun at the parade.
You know what's crazy?
Right.
You know what's crazy? All those years, I had never been to an MLK March ever because I was always on the air.
Yeah.
I would work those days, MLK Monday, and I said, one of these days, I'm gonna. It's one of the largest marches in the country.
You will not regret wearing your boots.
Oh, I'm going to need to wear a lot more than just boots and everything. But anyway,
hand warmers.
We'll see what happens. I got to figure out between now and Sunday night or Monday morning.
Practice.
Yeah, right. No, I
Sorry.
Figure out, oh gosh. So
are you on the court?
I'm on the court for Ray Feo. It's the Diamond Jubilee. It's the 75th anniversary of Ray Feo in 2024.
Okay.
So Fiesta, of course, starts April 18th.
How you liking the gig?
The court?
Yeah.
Well, I love it. I did it 2 years ago when Augie Cortez,
Okay,
Augie's Barbecue.
Yeah.
I did it 2 years ago.
And he got asked again?
So John McFadden, who is Ray Feo for 2024, was on the court with me 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And then John, knowing he was going to be Ray Feo a couple of years later, had asked me. He was like, "Hey, I might want your help in 2024." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's forever away. Oh yeah, I'll be at the." Oh, and yeah, of course, I didn't know at the time I wouldn't be at the TV station anymore and everything. But no, John's amazing. We've raised a lot of money for scholarships. You know how much I love Fiesta and the medals and all that stuff. It's a lot of work, but it's great because in August, we give away all those scholarships. And trade schools are now part of that instead of just the 2- and 4-year universities. And so, but it is a lot of work. It is, everything's bigger this year because of being the 75th anniversary of Ray Feo. So we are looking forward to it. But one of the things that we do as a court, there's about 12 of us, is to participate in the march, the MLK March. And so as of right now, as of broadcast time, I'm still planning to be in the march unless they cancel it or something happens on account of the weather.
You would probably think they cancel it or
Well, I don't know.
Postpone it?
Postpone it, maybe?
It's a lot. It's a lot to organize. You know,
It's the largest,
or at least a
streets and
later
stuff.
start or something.
It's the largest.
It's the largest.
Well,
yeah.
and the thing is with it too, I think you get a lot of people who are older in age who go out there obviously, marching
gonna
for
miss
civil
it.
rights and remembering Dr. King and everything. 300,000 people, they say sometimes. I don't know. That's an estimated crowd size. But I mean, you're talking about, 19 degrees, and maybe some precipitation falling. We'll see.
Yeah, no.
We'll see. But nonetheless, coming up on a holiday weekend here, so.
You said you love the medals. Are you a medal collector?
I am a medal collector.
Okay.
So years ago I started this thing called the Coat of Many Medals.
Coat of many
Like in
medals, yeah.
2015, where
How many coats do you have?
Well, so this is what happened. I had essentially what it was is I would take an old, worn out sports coat because I wore suits all the time on the air.
Okay.
And I would collect hundreds of medals, and I was like, what am I going to do with all these medals? How do I display them? So I essentially started putting them on a coat, and it got bigger and bigger every year. And then I ended up having these coats at home that weighed a bunch, and I was like, I'm not doing anything. I'm never going to wear these. What am I going to do with them? So long story short, I started auctioning them off for charity. And to answer your question, I currently own 0 coats. Why? Because I've auctioned off every single one, and the same woman, Cheryl, with the exception of 1 year, has purchased every coat I've ever had.
Sounds about right.
And I donate the money to whatever charity, or I could give it back to other causes and everything, because I realized the heaviest coat I've ever had was like the year before the pandemic. It was like 300 medals, and I weighed it. It was like 25 pounds.
And are these all from each year?
Yes,
like one
right,
coat, one
correct,
year.
Correct.
Okay.
I never put it. The 2022 coat doesn't have medals from 2017 on it. It's all.
So you collected 300 one.
Well, you gotta
one
understand.
Fiesta
So
year.
you have to understand. I did a segment on the news called "Medals in the Morning."
People
Okay.
People,
Oh,
People would
okay,
send
I
the medals to
got
the
you.
TV
they would
station,
send their medals. Yeah.
and then every morning I would do a show and tell, and I would show 10 medals a morning. So just do the math. You do 10 medals 5 days a week. So that's 50 medals in a week. 5 or
those
6
people,
weeks.
Wow.
those metal maniacs are
I've
like,
seen them. Yeah.
bro. I'm telling you. Did I tell you
We're
what
sitting
happened
next
to
to
me?
one.
Yeah, right. Did I tell you what happened to me when I went to the restroom
Yes.
at the restaurant? That this
Uh-oh.
guy asked me for a medal.
He didn't tap his foot, did he?
No, no. He saw me go in
Does that mean I
the
want a medal?
restroom, and there was a urinal and a toilet.
Oh boy.
And I'm in the toilet, and I get there, and I'm thinking, well, you see the guy's feet, he's not there.
Uh-oh.
Something he needs to use the John. So now I got to rush it, right? All of a sudden, I hear, hey, Cleto, sorry to bother you, but do you think you have an extra medal? And I said, yeah, hold on. I had one that I was wearing. I took it off, and I threw it under the thing,
No,
under
hombre.
the door.
Oh.
And he goes, hey, thanks, man. You're the man. And he walked off.
Nice.
That's when you
Good
know.
way to handle it.
That's how you know.
People
I'd be
It's the
like, can I
big
get
time,
a
my
moment?
friend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
give me a moment.
Something. I mean, a little quiet time,
A little
please.
courtesy flush and
Please
everything.
don't talk, sir.
Yeah.
Please.
People will come right up to you and ask for the one. Like you said, well, I'm out. I'm sorry. I already gave all mine away.
Oh,
Well, can I have
man.
the one that you're wearing?
Yes,
Can I have that
yes.
one? And I'm like, well,
This is my last one. But
Right.
Can I have it?
or what about the person who says, can I have one? And then can I get another one for my husband? And then one for my son?
Yes.
And one for, so I feel terrible.
Yeah.
I feel terrible because I don't want to deny anybody, but you
I
have to have a
don't.
limit.
I don't. Not at all. I got to the point of just telling him, nope.
Just no. Just
Nope. Sorry.
One per customer.
One per customer.
What do we got to do to get if this thing is still a thing
Yeah.
in April, hopefully, what would we got to do for a 3
I
cents?
give, we
Medal.
got to get a
We
3
got
Got a
cents.
Monarch,
medal.
no, Monarch Trophy. That's
Monarch Trophy.
Monarch Trophy.
That's our guy.
Alamo Tees? I think
Oh,
they do.
Do they do
medals?
medals?
Yeah,
I think so.
I did. I saw
Yeah, I
some
think-
medals in their
I think
case
they
too.
do medals.
So we've got a few
okay.
options.
Okay.
We got a few
Which
options.
shout out to Alamo Tees and advertisement. Thank our merch sponsor. Thank you very much.
Do they have a parka or an Eskimo jacket or something I can wear for Monday?
They probably do.
Do they have
probably They got jackets that say Alamo Tees.
Long
on.
johns or what do you call them? I'm gonna need
So,
something.
hand warmers.
Something.
You
But
definitely need the hand warmers.
I'm gonna need.
You know, it's funny you mentioned hand warmers. The first time I ever came across hand warmers, I was in Chicago, and it was like, I kid you not, probably like 16 below zero.
Oh gosh.
And they were telling me in my room when I got there, they usually, when you go to hotels, some of the people from putting the show together will have a basket in your room.
Yeah.
Fruit, candy, water, soda, whatever that's in this basket. No, Chicago. Gloves, earmuffs, hand warmers, feet warmers, chewing gum. What was the other thing? Hot cocoa. I mean, just all
the essentials.
Yeah, essential to keep you warm. I
Gotta do it right.
Never forgot that.
Galdo,
Oh,
no,
scarf.
Menudo.
They give you a scarf
no.
too. I was like, okay,
Yeah, the little
Not too bad.
Mylar emergency
That's right,
blanket.
yeah.
blanket.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
that was crazy.
Do you like cold weather?
I love cold
See,
weather.
I do not like it at all.
Well, like let me backtrack. I used to like cold weather a lot. As I'm getting older, it's not the same. I prefer spring weather.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely not. Give me
Yeah.
the beach any
Yeah,
day and warm weather.
I think the warm weather is where I'm at now, but I used to love cold weather. I used to love it, but the last snowstorm kind of got me done with that.
The freeze?
Yeah, the
In 21?
Freeze got me.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. I mean, but like my son, for example, like lately, I take my kids to school in the morning, my twins, and I'm like, "Are you gonna wear a jacket?" My son's like, "No."
I know.
And I'm like, "We're gonna be inside." I'm like, "But it's still freezing cold." Like walking into the school.
Do your kids do this? I mean, my kids, for some reason, my boys will wear a hoodie in 105-degree weather.
I used to be that kid. Yeah.
And then in the summer, I mean, in the fall,
yeah.
the winter, short sleeves.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where's your jacket? It's freezing. I'm fine, Dad. In shorts.
Yeah.
I think we were trying to prove a point as kids. You know,
Yes.
I'd wear jeans, the baggiest jeans in the world, and hoodies, and it'd be 105 outside. And then I'm just walking down the street. Just
How old are
fine.
you, LG? How old are you?
I'm a man. I'm 40.
I'm a man. Mike Gundy.
My goodness, yeah.
Yeah. So, gosh, we'll see. I guess, yeah. Now that as we get older,
I remember my
we're
son
more
said, "Dad,
tolerant."
this fire." I go, "Yeah, we need a fire. We need a fire." Like, the kids talk, "Dad, that's fire. That drips fire." I go, we need a fire.
Oh,
right
not like a legit like flames and like
No,
like
he was
hot.
talking about-
They're talking
yeah.
now.
about
Talking about my outfit.
Your outfit.
like,
That's,
Dad,
that's an old term.
that's an
though,
old
you know?
fire. Yeah,
fire.
Fire's
lit,
old.
lit,
lit.
Lit's
lit,
old.
lit's-
That's old.
lit fire cap. What's
No
the other-
cap.
No
No
cap.
cap.
No
No
cap.
one, yeah.
W Riz, low key, high key. I'm like, you know what?
Now, do your
kids talk
sons-
like
Well,
that?
I was gonna say the way my son talks to me versus the way my girls talk to me are two different.
Yeah.
They're all teenagers, and my twins are boy girl. But my son will text me when I'll text him something, and he'll say ALR. And for the first couple times, I had no idea what he.
What is it?
I'm like
Is it all-
ALR.
Is it all right?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't. I don't-
So
that's new to me.
Luke, I'm gonna I'm running a few minutes late. I'll pick you up 5 minutes late. Or Luke, I'm putting some money in your cafeteria account, and he'll go ALR, and I'm like, what? He
I
goes,
think it'd be easier to
ALR.
type okay. There's one less stroke.
Or all right.
All right.
I mean, just
yeah.
like I'm not
All
asking.
right.
Yeah.
You're just a few more letters,
I'm
son.
not asking for a paragraph.
Just a
That's
thumbs
right.
up emoji. you
Thumbs
know?
up, something.
but
yeah.
I was like, son, and again, call me old fashioned.
Yeah,
Call
yeah.
me whatever you want.
I'm right with
But
you.
I need my children to just spell it out.
Preach.
I wasn't great at a lot of things
Mm-hmm.
growing up, but one thing I was really good at that I have first
Spelling.
place ribbons to prove it was spelling. And so I won a few spelling bees in my day. But it helped me in my journalism career, I'm not going to lie. But the one thing I don't ask for a lot, but when my kids are texting me, you use emojis if you want. That's fine.
Yeah, yeah,
whatever.
something.
An acronym or whatever.
Communicate.
But if you're going to say all right, or just spell out the word.
Yeah, be right back was a big one for me.
BRB.
BRB. I didn't know what that was for a long time.
I bet if I pulled up his phone
That's
right
an
now,
old-
I'd
LG,
find
did I
out
tell you
some
did I tell you when,
interesting stuff?
about when me and Ernie were on the news, and one time I was given a spelling bee to these waitresses at a Mexican
Oh my
restaurant,
gosh!
and this
Waitress
It was
spelling
a
bee.
bit you were doing.
It was a bit.
Okay.
Called
It was
waitress spelling bee.
waitress
That's a
spelling
good bit.
bee.
I like that.
And it was funny because I picked like the most strangest words, like even Gronkowski. Like, let's spell Gronkowski, and it's like the one lady that speaks the most Spanish doesn't speak English. Gronkowski, whatever. It sounds more Russian than Spanish. But she goes, and she would spell it right, and it'd be wrong, kind of deal, right? So now we had the one lady, and I said, spell. They were coming at me saying, "You just make fun of these waitresses. Well, let you spell it. Once you spell a word, all right, I'll spell a word." So the lady goes, teriyaki,
Oh my gosh!
and I'm like, teriyaki, okay. T-E-R. And then my cameraman kind of pulls his face out like
I'll
this.
never forget this.
And I go, what, Carlos? What's the matter? And he's got this face on. He goes, that's not the word. I said, man, let me see that word right quick. Oh, it's not teriyaki. It's Cherokee. Cherokee is the word.
Okay.
Like the Native American tribe.
Yeah, I got
So
you. Like the Jeep.
So I ran out of time. So I told Ernie, and I thought it was a guy. I honestly thought I got fired for this word because I go, Ernie, I have to send it back to you, but when we come back, we're gonna have a reading class. I mean, a reading segment.
Jeez.
And I thought I was gonna get fired for that. And when they wind up telling me, yeah, we gotta let you go, budget, cause I was like, I made a face like, that's it.
That was it.
They go, yeah, what'd you think you're gonna let go for? Oh, nothing. Just thought I'd throw it
Nothing
out
to
there.
see here. Nothing to see here.
So I'll never forget that. That was
Waitress
so funny.
spelling bee.
It was so funny.
You should. Have you ever considered resurrecting that and just doing it on your own?
I have been trying to do some different stuff on the show itself and just kind of get people to come on out and just do it, especially like waitresses when I'm at these restaurants.
Okay, well, something to think about. But gosh, though.
But I mean,
It's ridiculous.
but just getting back to the kids and talking to them, it's like I'm talking to a wind talker. I'm like, give me a break. It's like code over here.
It's goes in cycles. I mean, we're
I-
getting old is what's happening.
And
we're
it
getting
is.
old.
I'm listening to them talk in the backseat of the car.
Yes.
And they are just like, yeah, low risk, Cape Fire and cap lit,
No.
and all this stuff. And I'm like,
So you know what happened? Speaking of that, all three of my kids, actually two of them, asked for Christmas. My oldest daughter wanted a new set of headphones. Just these, and then my son wanted AirPods. He had like the $20 Amazon earbuds
Right, yeah.
that fall on it. So they asked for AirPods. Okay, so Santa Claus. Okay, fine. You guys. So Santa Claus is maybe having some buyer's remorse about making those purchases because now when I try to talk to my children in the car,
yeah.
and this morning on the way to school, I was trying to talk to my son to tell him about something. I'll probably put a coat on or something, and he's got those two white little
Yep.
nubs in his ear, and he's just over there in his own world. And I'm like, I have to like reach out and like, son, you hear? And he goes, what? That's another thing. He
Yeah.
goes, huh? And I'm like, wrong answer. Like, no, you're not a caveman. Like, please. I mean,
I know.
again, I don't ask for a lot.
I know.
we did the same thing, except we didn't have AirPods or whatever. We had the Walkman.
Sony
We had a
Walkman.
Walkman and a little foam things.
Yes. And if the foam fell out, like how hard did it
No, it
hurt
was
your ear?
just a hard disc, just the metal with the
cold
the sharpest plastic
That's
on
right.
the end.
That's right. Did you keep any? Do you have any of those relics from your youth still?
I have cassette players. I have a Betamax VCR. I have a VHS.
I kept I kept a lot of that stuff. I'm a pack rat, and I still have my wife was asking me the other day, what was the first cell phone you ever had? Do you remember?
Oh, wow.
In my closet at home, I have a big bag, and it's probably got about 8 to 10 phones in it
Yeah.
from over the years that I had, including the ones that go way back. I remember my parents had a bag phone.
I remember I had a BlackBerry.
I never had a BlackBerry, but
I loved it. I loved my BlackBerry.
the brick. Did you have a brick?
Did not have a brick, no.
That was before my time.
But I had I kept
I had the flip phone.
Yeah, a
the,
little
the
flip
Razor,
phone.
the Motorola
I had a-
Razor. I had a Sidekick,
A psych.
T-Mobile Sidekick.
Nice.
It was like pager / messenger thing.
Yeah. Those are nice. I like those.
I kept I've got a cassette player, a Sony Walkman. I don't think it was Sony brand. It was a different brand, like AWA or something like that, another brand from back then.
Yeah.
And then I did have the Sony Discman, which was the CD player. So one day I was cleaning out the closet and I took all these things out and I laid them out on the bed. And just for fun, I said, my son was probably, this is like 3-4 years ago, probably 9 or 10 years old. I said, son, come on over here. So I want you to take a look at this thing on my bed and tell me, what do you think this is? And he looked at it. It was the Sony Discman without the headphones. It was just the unit by itself on the bed. And he looked at it and he kind of picked it up and was holding it. And he said, is this a scale? He thought it was like a kitchen scale.
Okay.
Like
I could see that. Yeah, I
and,
could
and
see
I,
that.
At first I wanted to, on the inside I was laughing hysterically, but on the outside I was like, I see where you got that.
Now,
do
I'm
see where
picturing
you-
it in my head. It
Right,
does look like
right.
a little digital
It does look
scale.
like
yeah.
you would weigh a little, how much sugar do I have? Anyway, so then I proceeded to show him how it worked, and he was mildly impressed. In this age of digital downloads and clouds and everything is, wireless.
Yeah,
I don't think he was Yeah, this is where I would plug in the headphones.
Clouds. What's this you talk of?
You're right. This is where.
What is this
I
you
still
speak of?
collect vinyl. I've got
Well, yeah, vinyl.
Yeah, I still
Yeah.
collect. I have
Timeless.
hundreds of vinyl.
My daughter
records.
wanted a record player like 2 years ago.
Like a turntable.
Like a turntable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I bought her one. That
You got to get
that-
two. It's always two turntables.
You gotta have the
Yeah.
Well, yeah. It was kind of hard to
scratch and
It's
vinyl.
kind of hard to scratch Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
And,
it's-
but yeah, so she got a record player and she likes the vinyl.
It's nice. Well,
she
it's
likes-
nice to own something physically. Like instead of these services and stuff, they could take that
like
away
Spotify
any minute.
and all that. Yeah,
You-
you're right.
It's nice to physically own your music.
raise the prices or we're gonna
Tangible.
take it away.
You can look at the the liner or whatever.
The note, open it up,
notes.
the liner notes and the artwork and the covers and everything.
Who was all against that back then? It was Prince, wasn't it? Prince was like because about the owning rights and all that kind of stuff.
Oh,
there
against
were
digital. Metallica.
Yeah.
was
Well, some
huge
artists were
against
very
that. Yeah.
reluctant to share their
Because the whole
catalogs.
Napster, right? That was the
Yeah,
whole
they were
Napster
very
thing.
reluctant to share their catalogs on these platforms because they were not. They felt they weren't getting compensated fairly for.
And I agree, and they still aren't.
No,
They still
because
aren't.
all the
Yeah.
illegal downloading and
Yeah.
Well, even the paid ones, they make fractions of a penny on each play.
Yeah.
And what else is lost in this whole digital thing is the art of the album. Everybody's single. It's like there's no cohesive sound to albums anymore unless the artist specifically goes for that. It's almost like they're just looking for that top single.
Right.
It's not the whole experience of listening to A side and B side
Right.
like it was with cassettes. And,
Right.
Speaking
Vinyl.
of albums, I saw the other day after Swamp People, and I saw the other day the documentary of Michael Jackson's 40th anniversary of Thriller. Have you seen that?
40th anniversary of Thriller.
Have you seen it?
I don't know
No.
if I've seen that one
It is so good. I mean, just takes you back.
because that came out
Takes you back
recently, right? Then
Yeah, it just came back. It came
Thriller
out
was like in
about
'83.
It came out about a month ago.
the year I was born.
Last year.
Yeah, because it's just
Came-
as old.
came-
Thriller
yeah.
is as old as LG. is.
That's right.
Okay.
And when you were born, the best album ever came out.
I love that album. It's great.
It's
Off the
a
Wall is my favorite though.
You know what's interesting? I loved a lot of songs from Off the Wall, and Michael only got one award from Off the Wall, and that was
Best
best
album.
R&B artist. And he got so ticked that he wanted to get he wanted to make an album that was just the best ever, and he had every song like he wanted no B songs, no B sides. Like he wanted every side to be just.
I was going to ask, was it Fleetwood Mac or who beat? I mean, Michael Jackson back then, because was that been like in '78 or something like that, right? Like
yeah, it was
late
They
'70s.
didn't really. I think it was the Bee Gees.
Oh,
The Bee Gees
okay.
had the best song.
Saturday
the
Night
best-
Fever. And
Yeah,
all
Saturday
that
Night Fever
stuff
had
was
the
coming
best.
out.
They had the best album.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you know it's so funny because I remember seeing the Def Leppard documentary, and they had every song that Michael Jackson came out with. They were always number 2,
Yes.
and he goes,
Oh,
now
man.
it's not that bad that we can number 2,
Yeah.
but we couldn't be number 1 because
No.
it was Michael Jackson's Thriller.
They're like the
best
Buffalo
album.
Bills of music.
Exactly.
Four in a row. 4 in a row.
And the funniest thing is, if you went into my room in the 80s, 84, 85, I mean, my wall to wall, Hit Parade, Cream, all hair bands. Poison, Def Leppard, Bon Jovi, Motley Crue, Ozzy Osbourne, all hair bands until you open my closet, literally. And there's the Thriller album and the Prince album, Purple Rain.
Oh, so you were an in the closet
In the
Prince
closet,
and Michael
Prince
Jackson
and Michael
fan?
Jackson fan.
Did you ever
I
grow
did-
your hair
that-
out long?
I did. Well, it only got about to right here. Like it was more Kevin Bacon than
Footloose?
You know, yeah, Footloose, and then
So you were headbanging in the streets and moonwalking in the sheets.
abs. You know what? Actually, let's see. I was probably moonwalking and breakdancing in the street.
Was this Jefferson Clinton Rodriguez?
No, this was Horseman Jefferson Rodriguez when that album came out.
Okay.
Yeah, I was middle school.
Oh,
I
wow.
was in high school. No, I think it was
In
middle school.
83 when Thriller came out?
No, you know what? It was freshman year. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, that's right.
Oh.
I had to
snap.
remember which house I was in
Yeah.
when that song came out. Yeah, when that album came out.
So the doc's good.
The documentary.
The doc's good. Yeah. It's because it's like you don't realize you think, okay, he made a great album, but hearing them talk about it and how he came up with so many different things, I was like amazed at how creative he was and how he just came up with all these songs and he wrote them all and then to come back after that with Bad,
Yeah.
and then I mean it wasn't Thriller, but it was dang near close.
Well, I mean, yeah, you mentioned the Bee Gees. Same. It's kind of. I saw a documentary on them recently, and it's the same thing. The creative process, and those are three brothers coming together, harmonizing and coming up with all those. And then they had fallen out of grace or kind of out of popularity, and then they reinvented themselves with the disco era and Saturday Night Fever and all that stuff.
Yeah,
But
they had it rough. A lot of people don't know that the Bee Gees put in their time. They really did.
that's why I tell people all the time that Taylor Swift's name comes up a lot, and I say, look, I don't listen to Taylor Swift, very often.
Right.
Not necessarily my kind of music, but I have all kinds of love and respect for her as a businesswoman, as a songwriter, as an entrepreneur, or as a brand. To be able to do all that, and whatever she wants to date Travis Kelce or whatever, you be my guest.
Right.
But she, like somebody said the other day, if it doesn't go well with Travis Kelce, she could probably buy the Kansas City Chiefs. And move them out of Kansas City if she wanted to.
That's funny.
Or just fire the GM.
Or fire the GM.
How much is she worth?
Oh, so much.
God, I can imagine.
Billions.
Yeah,
I was trying to think of the record. She just broke another record. Oh, Michael Jackson. She beat in 2023, broke the record for the highest grossing. Was it
concert tour?
Concert movie. Because remember, her Eras tour became a movie and everything. And she beat Michael Jackson. Remember when This Is It came out, right when he died? Yeah. That was the highest grossing concert movie of all time.
Wow.
And she just knocked MJ off just a few weeks ago.
I was just telling my daughter, who's a big fan of Taylor Swift, that I do not think there would ever be a day that someone could knock out Beyonce or Lady Gaga. And she surpassed them so bad.
Yeah, I mean, again, say what you will. You can't argue with her ability to market or her team's ability to brand and market. And I mean, the music must be pretty good or
apparently
good
so,
enough
if
she keeps selling.
Yes.
Because people would go see the movie of the same concert that they just went to go see live in person.
That's right.
A couple of weeks ago.
You just got to shake it off.
Thank you. Yes. Or write one hit.
That's right.
Write one hit.
I don't think I've ever gone and seen a concert movie in my entire life.
It's all right. Just shake it off. It'll be all right.
Well, I mean, how many decent ones are out there?
I have no clue.
I mean, I guess I love documentaries.
I do too.
Yeah, that's different.
But yeah, that's different than like a concert. Concert.
Yeah, a concert movie. I mean, I like watching concert footage, like DVDs of stuff of past legendary concerts.
Yeah.
But
I used to
actual concert movie, I don't know about that.
I used to love watching Behind the Music.
On VH1.
Yeah, on VH1. I used to love watching that.
Yeah, VH1 and MTV Kids back when they actually played music videos and
just videos.
Pop-up video, remember that on VH1 and everything? Those were a lot of fun, but different time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're
Very
old.
different. No, we're getting there.
we just had the conversation the other day at home about our cable or if it was time to cut the cord because we were like, well, what are we watching? We watch so much stuff.
We're slinging.
We're slinging. Yeah, right. We're slinging. I sling all night long. Yeah, I remember.
I'm surprised you haven't cut it yet.
Well, I've come close. I have trimmed. I've definitely scaled back.
Yeah, I did too.
Instead of the ultimate package, you get like the basic package.
Yeah.
And then you add on, but you realize you get you subscription yourself to death because you've got 10 subscriptions.
Yep.
To supplement everything else. But now, like, they're getting smart Peacock is showing
I saw that.
an NFL playoff
NFL
game
game
exclusively
yeah,
on. So
exclusive
they're
on Peacock.
that's how they get you. They
That's how
force
they
you
get you.
to.
It's
And
ridiculous.
Amazon Prime has these games now.
Paramount.
Paramount has the CBS games, and so it's like.
I'm glad I got all those 3 upstairs in my room because we have the Fire Stick upstairs and we have the cable downstairs.
But it's more expensive than regular cable nowadays because you got to have 20 different subscriptions just to keep up with what you used
had
to
to get rid of
in a
some.
package
I had
from
to get-
cable.
I had to get rid of some. I just found out that my comedy special is on Tubi now.
Is it really?
Yeah.
You
It's
just
on
found out?
I just found out.
Okay.
It's on Amazon Prime and Tubi.
There's so many channels like that now too.
I wish it's on Netflix, but we'll see.
Hey, well, it's progress.
You end up there one day.
Yeah.
Do you ever go back and
As
watch?
soon as this podcast, I'm telling you, once it's
Yeah.
gone.
Do you ever go back and watch old shows from your youth? Like actively seek them out and go back and watch?
I do
Like-
it all the time.
Yeah.
Like my shows?
Yeah, no. I mean, like whatever show you grew up watching.
Oh yeah, I just matter of fact, I got this. What's it called? Binge. It was a channel on cable.
Yes.
I found Binge.
Yes.
I download. I mean, not download, but I recorded all of the 21 Jump Streets.
With Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp and Richard Grieco and
Oh yes. Yeah.
DeLuise. And then also I recorded Who's the Boss
yes.
with my girl
Alyssa Milano.
Alyssa Milano.
I say that because now, as we know, a lot of these networks are trying to remake these shows. You see, like
know.
MacGyver
Leave 'em
and Magnum
alone.
PI and Hawaii Five-0 and all these.
They're coming out with a Fall Guy.
All of them.
Yeah.
Matlock is coming out. There,
Matlock.
Night Court they brought
Yeah.
back.
Night
You know,
Court,
all
yeah.
these, and it's like
They brought back Perry Mason on HBO. Did you
No.
watch that redo of that? It was decent, but I don't know. You can't
so many
redo
misses though.
some of
No,
these
so
things.
many misses.
There's no other Angela Lansbury. Folks.
Murder, She Wrote?
Come on, come on.
It's probably in the works. I'm sure there's a script somewhere sitting,
Yes.
ready to be dusted off.
But it's a
and
different
made.
time though, because like I was talking about Night Court the other day, like what
Oh,
you
they
could get
remade
away
that.
with, what Dan Fielding could say in the 80s and 90s on network TV, and what he could say now. Two different times. Same actor, same character.
Oh, you could not
Two
play
different-
All in the Family today.
Oh hell no!
Archie
could
Bunker
not
would be
play-
canceled.
Speaking
You
of which,
could
the
not
one
play the
show that
Jeffersons.
from my youth that is on constant rotation all the time at my house to this day is Married with Children.
Oh,
By far, I can recite almost every line from every episode.
That's another one I don't think it could.
No, it could
No,
never.
there's
no
it
way.
Could never. There's
No
so
way.
many
Al Bundy-
homophobic jokes
Yeah.
and misogyny.
Oh.
And just it's. But he made fun of everybody. So,
He did.
You know,
he's an
He was-
equal
he was
opportunity.
yeah.
He was like Bunker. He was across the board.
Archie Bunker. Oh
yep.
gosh, yeah. So
There's. I remember.
they
I
live
was-
on in syndication.
Yeah, I mean, I remember playing a game once, and I was with Rodney Dangerfield on the Tonight Show, and I was playing a game called "How Many Jokes He Could Not Do Today."
Oh yeah,
Close to 30.
sure.
Yeah, my favorite one was like, "Yeah, Johnny, I dated a fat girl. How fat was she? Her bathtub had stretch marks. Hey,
no respect.
whoa,
No
no
respect.
respect.
No
Come on.
respect. No re- But I guess that's the same as true in comedy. Is the jokes
yeah.
the jokes you could have told in 83 or 93 or
Yeah.
94 you can't tell in 24.
Well, yeah, I remember. I remember just. I can't remember the comic's name, but he said, "Look, you ain't got to cancel me. I'll tell you. I'll tell you what I said. I'll tell you straight out what I said. But it's you're not gonna like it.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. But it's just for me, I think the one thing that if you saw old clips of mine, you'll see me cussing. That's probably much it.
I've heard of this
I mean-
legendary.
Yeah, I've never
raunchy
seen it.
Cleto.
Yeah, it was.
What do we got to do to pull that guy out of the closet?
You know what? I'm gonna. I think I have. Somebody gave me
can't imagine it.
Somebody gave me a CD of me back then, and yeah, it was crazy.
What?
It was crazy. Yeah, because
I've never heard this.
this. I mean, when I first started doing stand up, I mean, I didn't have a relationship with the Lord at all, and I was there, and I remember when me and my ex broke up, I was just there, just oh man, just venting, drinking, cussing, doing the whole entertainment, different town, different lady, that kind of thing. I and it's so
Gosh.
funny because back then it was more like, I was just wild. I was lost. I was just crazy and just doing my thing and had no. I was just mad, because I broke up I caught my ex cheating on me, and that was just like drove me to the bottle, and the typical, storyline, that you got from entertainers. And then, but I loved comedy. I loved being around it. I couldn't get away from it. And, literally, just then going through the motions and, and I was pretty funny, I thought, back then. And then when I met my wife, she was a Christian woman and she wasn't having any of that.
No.
And I was trying to bring her to the dark side. That wasn't happening either. And sure enough, I wind up quitting comedy like in my prime when I was coming up. And I was out for about 6 months trying to figure out what am I going to do. And then all of a sudden, she goes, you need to go back into comedy, but just do it clean.
Yeah.
And I said, all right. And then that was it. I was off to the races and I didn't look back.
Okay.
You said, darn it to heck. And then it was all,
yeah. It was so weird because when
fiddlesticks.
Fudge.
Yeah. Fudge.
I'm wondering if you were like a George Carlin kind of just cussing a lot, or if you were like Amy Schumer nasty.
No, I wasn't Amy Schumer nasty. I was more Carlin, but I was probably more Pryor.
Okay.
Oh,
I got you.
Like I would,
a little Eddie
I would-
Murphy.
a little Eddie Murphy. Like the words were just coming out. Like I would say the F word like it was the word the. You know, like I was just constantly saying stuff, and wow, it's so weird taking me back that spot because I'm not seen that kid in a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe there's a good reason for that.
That's probably
maybe.
probably yeah. I couldn't. I'm gonna see if I can find that. It's in one of my memorable bins or whatever under all my costumes from the worst Gleto.
Jeez.
Especially that brown box.
Is that the box you carried out of the building that day?
Yeah, that one with the pool trophy. I was like, oh, this is good luck.
Well, listen, we'll take Clean Cleto anytime, and we appreciate that.
Well,
you're
all
here.
that means is I take baths now.
Yeah,
so
that's good. Well, yeah, we're glad that you
I
showered for
appreciate
today.
that.
Yes, and we expect you to shower next week as well when we return. Although next Tuesday it could be like 15 degrees, so
that's
you
right,
need to dress appropriately here.
We might have to do that one from home, right?
We might need a
If it happens, it happens.
Yeah,
it
we
might
need
be
to
frozen.
have some caldo or something. We'll see. Check your local listings.
That's
We'll let
right.
you know. But
we'll be in our pajamas.
yeah, our pajamas. But at any rate, all right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Another episode in the books. We're so thrilled that you're able to spend some of your Thursday with us here, or whenever you're watching this. I know not everybody watches it when we do this live, or when we record it. So. Thank you for your continued support. Stay warm wherever you are, right? And keep it right here. We'll be back very soon. From Mike Taylor, who will be back soon, Cleto Rodriguez, LG, I'm Ronnie Zuniga. From the Chatterbox Studios, this is the 3 Cents Podcast, presented by Integrity Roofing and Siding. See you next time.
$3 Cents Podcast is brought to you by Integrity Roofing and Siding.